Hey there everyone, it's me Josh. Welcome to Storytime. Thanks so much for being here. Right now we're going to be reading Little Miss Greedy from the Little Miss Library of Books by Roger Hargreaves. Read so many amazing books so far and we're looking forward to getting further and further into these stories. There's about 10 more to go, I think, if I'm counting right. 12 more to go, so we're almost there. Let's see what we can learn and what messages we can take from Little Miss Greedy today. Get comfortable, get ready wherever you are, because we're about to delve into story time. That's right, let's go. Let me clear my throat. Little Miss Greedy certainly was. What? Greedy. I'll say, as greedy as a giant, and giants are really very greedy indeed. Little Miss Greedy lived in Cherry Cake Cottage. Cherry cake. One lovely summer morning on Monday, Little Miss Greedy awoke earlier than usual. She felt rather hungry, and so she went into her kitchen and cooked herself some breakfast. Some breakfast indeed. Sausages. Stepping in hungry, ready for some breakfast. Now, if you had sausages for breakfast, or if I had sausages for breakfast, how many sausages would we have? 1, 2, maybe 3? Guess how many sausages Little Miss Greedy had for breakfast? With the look on her face like that, let's see, 66. Whoa. All right, look. It says go on, count them. 66 succulent, sizzling sausages, which is difficult to say, and even more difficult to eat, unless you're Little Miss Greedy. Now, if you want to there, feel free to pause it and count all 66 sausages. Were there 66? Some of you that counted, yes, nice. Others that maybe just didn't pause it. We're going to continue on, we're going to find out what's happening. Little Miss Greedy cut the last sausage on her plate in two and popped one half into her mouth. She sighed contentedly. That was nice, she thought to herself. Now what else shall I have? Guess what? Toast. Now, if you had toast for breakfast, or if I had toast for breakfast, how many slices would we have? Perhaps 2, maybe 3. Guess how many slices of toast Little Miss Greedy had for breakfast? 23. Some were close. 23 thick, tasty slices of tempting toast and marmalade. Check it out. Stacks on stacks of toast there. Just as Little Miss Greedy was licking the last crumb of the 23rd slice of toast from her lips, there was a knock at the door of Cherry Cake Cottage. It was the postman. There's the postman there, delivering some mail. Letter for you, Little Miss Greedy, he said cheerfully. Oh good, smiled Little Miss Greedy, for she liked it when somebody sent her a letter. Would you like a cup of tea while you're here, she asked. I'm going to have one. One indeed. Just look at the size of Little Miss Greedy's teapot. Wow. It's a big teapot. The postman had one cup of tea and a chat, thanked Little Miss Greedy and left. Little Miss Greedy poured herself another cup, another after the 11 other cups she'd already had, and opened her letter. It was from her cousin, Mr. Greedy. Dear Little Miss Greedy, he had written. He always wrote to his cousin this way. Next Wednesday is my birthday. Please come to tea at 4 o'clock. Little Miss Greedy was delighted. She hadn't seen her cousin for quite some time. See in the photo in the back there? There's Mr. Greedy. We've also read the Mr. Greedy story if you want to search for it on the channel. It's there. Wednesday was a lovely day. After a little light lunch, I'll tell you what later, Little Miss Greedy set off in her car to drive to Mr. Greedy's house. But before she set off, she put something on the back seat of her car, something large. Mr. Greedy's birthday present. There's Little Miss Greedy zooming along in the car there. At 4 o'clock precisely, Little Miss Greedy pulled up in front of Mr. Greedy's roly-poly sort of a house. Mr. Greedy was there to meet her. Hello, Little Miss Greedy, he smiled. How lovely to see you after all this time. Happy birthday, laughed Little Miss Greedy, and she gave Mr. Greedy a big kiss. It's Mr. Greedy running out of his house to greet his cousin. Mr. Greedy blushed. Do come in, he said. Tea's all ready. Little Miss Greedy was following Mr. Greedy into his house when she remembered something. You know what it was, don't you? That's right, Mr. Greedy's birthday present. Wait a minute, she said. Can you help me to lift something out of the back of my car, please? She smiled. It's rather heavy, she added. Certainly, agreed Mr. Greedy. Look at him blushing now. He's like, ooh, my birthday present. Like we all get with birthdays and our presents, eh? Yep. There on the back seat of Little Miss Greedy's car was the biggest birthday cake you've ever seen in all your life. A huge, enormous, gigantic, colossal currant cake, with thick pink icing on top and strawberry jam in the middle. I only put one candle on it, explained Little Miss Greedy, as they carried it to the house, because I've forgotten how old you are. No, you shouldn't have, laughed Mr. Greedy. He licked his lips, but I'm glad you did. Wow. It's a big slice of cake. I baked it today, said Little Miss Greedy, and then she chuckled. I have a confession to make, she said. This is the only cake I baked today. The first one looks so delicious. Oh, sorry, this isn't the only cake I baked today. My bad. The first one looked so delicious, I ate it for breakfast. She chuckled again. Look at her laughing there. Because she cooked one cake. Looked so good, she ate it. So she had to make another one. That's great. I may or may not have done that before myself. Cake's good. And the second one looked so delicious, she went on, I ate that one for my lunch. So she's made 2 cakes and eaten them both. Mr. Greedy grinned from ear to ear. Time for tea, Little Miss Greedy, he said. That's quite funny. Well, thank you so much for reading Little Miss Greedy today. If you like these stories, please click that bell below and subscribe for me. Then you can visit the page, read stories whenever you want. Bye for now, but definitely not forever. See you for another story really soon. I'm Josh, and this is Storytime.